to control the water. In this case, on the chapter 25, we will talk about urinary system. Okay, urinary system. And from the name, you should be able to guess the function, right? What is the function of urinary system? Produce urine. That's it. That's the function. What is actually urine? Let's say, okay. Produce urine. Now, the question is, what is urine? What is urine? It is good stuff or bad stuff? So urine composed of bad stuff or good stuff? A waste. So it's bad stuff. It's a waste that have to be removed. So urine is actually waste. Here you go, waste. This is waste. Therefore, we produce it, we remove it. The question is how? Okay. Now, my question is how? How we produce the urine? How we produce this waste? How we remove this waste? Anybody have an idea? What is actually urine coming from? Urine coming from blood. This is actually blood filtration. Okay, when we filter the blood, then we will produce this waste. So to answer how over here, okay, filter blood to produce this urine. Can you follow this? I'm gonna track it. You try to make this as simple as possible. That will be understandable. What is urine actually? This is a product of blood filtration. Your blood has to be clean, right? If it is not clean, you have problem, right? You have problem. Now, how to clean the blood? Filter it. Got it? So this is the main functions of the urinary system, which is filter the blood to produce the waste, the urine. Okay? Now, the waste or the urines, okay, the normal compositions of waste in the urine, it's gonna be, the name is telling you. The name is telling you. This is nitrogen-based waste product. The main one is called the urea, right? Urea. Urine is coming from the urea. It smells bad, okay? Because it's nitrogen-based, usually smell that bad. Another one is going to be ammonia. So there will be, this is a waste product. This is a bad stuff in the blood. It has to be removed. Right? What else? Another one is going to be the uric acid. So all of this is the same thing, which is coming from the nitrogen base, coming from the proteins that you eat. So urea, ammonia, uric acid. There's another one, is called the urochrome. This usually gives the color of the urine. What is urine color? You're gonna check this one, okay? Tomorrow, you actually gonna perform what we call the urinalysis. You're gonna pee, believe me. You're gonna, not in the lab, okay? You're gonna pee, take your pee, and then measure the normal composition of your urine. If it is normal, you are good. If it's not, maybe still good. You're gonna check that one, whether your urine is in normal condition or not. Okay, everybody will check their own urine tomorrow. We're gonna do the urinalysis in addition to dissecting the kidney. We will also dissect the kidney plus performing urinalysis. You're going to check this, check the compositions of the urine and compare it with the normal urine composition. Okay, other that also present in the urine is creatine. Okay, and if you take drugs, there are some drug metabolites that may be also present in the urine. And of course, the main component of the urine will be water. There will be water also in the urine. These are normal. This is a normal urine composition. Some people maybe have glucoses in the urine. We're going to check whether some of you have glucoses or not in the urine. It will telling you this person have problem with the filtration. Like people with the diabetes, for example, usually sugar will be present in the urine. Sometimes blood present in the urine. It is abnormal. Some people with infection, for example, kidney infection or urinary tract infection, they might find the blood in the urine. Okay, but it is not normal. So normally, these are the compositions of urine. And normally, we produce about 1.8 to 2 liters urines per day. That's a normal production of urine. Some people, again, with abnormality, like diabetes, for example, they might be produce more. They like to pee more. That's abnormal. So normally, between 1.8 to liters urine per day. Okay, do you have question for this one first? It's clear, right? That's a urine, which is a waste product. Dylan, right? Urine is a waste product. And 1.8 to 2 liters per day. And these are the composition, normal composition of urine by filtering the blood. Now the question is, the next question, which organ filter the blood to produce the urine? Kidney. That's actually the organ. Kidney. That's it. So we're going to learn the organs of the urinary system now. Okay, I'm going to erase this. Okay, we're going to learn the structure of organs for this urinary system. Okay, so the organs. So this urinary system consists of organs that will form a tract. Therefore, it's called the urinary tract organs. Okay, so urinary tract organs. Okay, start from kidney. How many kidney do we have? How many kidney do we have? Two. Two. Now, when you dissect the pig, you should be able to find that 2 kidneys on the back. On the back. You will continue also dissecting that pig after next week. So on Wednesday next week. Tomorrow we're gonna just work with the kidney and urinalysis. So there are 2 kidney. For humans, just for your information, the right kidney is actually lower than the left kidney. Anybody know what's the reason? Why the right kidney is lower than the left one? The reason, because we have a very big organ on the right side of our abdominal cavity, which is the liver. So liver is pushing the right kidney down a little bit. It's not the same, height. So this is the right kidney. This is the left kidney. Okay. So the blood is coming from, let's say this is the descending aorta, right? Then it's branched into the artery that go to the kidney. It's going to be called the renal artery. Okay, and then over here, the renal artery will be branching into segmental artery, and then lobular artery, arcuate artery, and then interlobular artery, and finally into the arterioles. There is a picture on the PowerPoint if you want to follow the blood flow, okay, from the descending aorta inside to the kidney. Okay, then it's going back. I'm going to use the blue color. Okay, so going back from the kidney is going to be go to the blue big vein over here is called the inferior vena cava. Okay, so basically it's coming from the left ventricle to the aorta, descending aorta, renal artery. There is a capillary in the kidney and return as a vein, renal vein. So this is renal vein. And this renal vein will enter into the inferior vena cava. And inferior vena cava will go back to the heart, which is to the right atrium. I hope you still remember that circulation. Right? Now, kidney. Now, from the kidney, this is the organ that filter the blood. Filter the blood. Okay. The rest of the tract organ will be, let's say going here, you have the next organ, two of them. This one is called the ureters, okay, left and right. So ureter is only receive the final urine. So the final urine actually present here. So final urine. That's it. No more filtration. Okay. This is just a channel that carry the product, which is the urine from the kidney, and then save it a little bit here. In this one storage of the urine. Anybody know the name? What is that? Bladder. But because this is urinary system, we're going to put the complete name, which is urinary bladder. Because there is another bladder. Remember, the storage in the liver is called the gallbladder. Storage of bile. This one is storage for the urine. Therefore, it's called the urinary bladder. And then from the urinary bladder, there is a short channel. It's shorter in female, but a little bit longer on male. This short channel is called the urethra. Okay, so we have one urethra, two ureters. And then from the urethra, there will be opening. It's called the urethral orifice or opening. This is when the urine will be released from our body. Okay, so these are the organs for the urinary system. Start with the kidney, and then ureters, two, and then one urinary bladder, one urethra, and finally the urethral opening. It's not that difficult, right? If I put it in the question, you should be able to answer of this. And remember, when you memorize the name, follow the sequence. Start from the kidney, ureters, urinary bladder, urethra, and urethral orifice, because this is the sequence where the urine actually form and release. All right, do you have questions so far? We have not answered how the blood filter yet, right? We just look for the organ. Now we're gonna look where actually the blood is filtered and how. How the blood is filtered and how the urine actually produced. Again, in order to know that, we just focus on the kidney, because only kidney that filter the blood. The rest is just tract. There is no filtration. So only in the kidney. I'm gonna draw the bigger kidney over here. Can I erase this one? Okay. So we're gonna draw the bigger kidney. Okay, I say like that. It looks like a kidney bean. Okay, so this is a kidney. Now, the kidney is protected by 3 layers. Before we go to the inside kidney, we're gonna learn the protection first. The layer that attach to the kidney itself. So 3-layer protection for the kidney. Okay, 3-layer protections, or also known as external layers of kidney. Okay, first gonna be this layer over here, the one that's in the kidney itself, that gives the shape of the kidney. This one is called the renal capsule. Okay, so renal capsule. The second layer, I'm gonna use red color, a little bit thicker. Okay, this second layer is actually the one that kind of protect the kidney from shaking. It's going to be consist of fat tissue. This is fat tissue, give the cushion to the kidney. It's called the adipose. Adipose means fat. Capsule. Okay, that's the second layer. And the last layer, we're going to use the blue one, which is the outside layer. Okay, so this outside layer is actually the one that will hold the kidney into our back. So the kidney will hold in the back. It will not floating around. It's held by this layer. It's called the renal fascia. Hold the kidney to the back. So that's the 3-layer of protection. It's also known as the external layers of the kidney. You get this one first? Now, the most important thing is going to be the inside layer over here, the internal layer, because this is the place where the blood will be filtered. For the internal layer, there is also three internal layers of kidney. This first one is here. Okay, the whole layer over here. Okay. This whole layer is called the renal cortex. Okay, the first layer is called the renal cortex. Okay, the second layer is gonna be here. This is the second layer. Okay, because it is in the middle, then the name is gonna be renal medulla. Okay, that's the second layer. Again, you're gonna dissect the kidney tomorrow. You should be able to find these three layers easily. Okay, renal medulla. Okay. The third layer will be this one. Okay. The third layer will be this one. It's called the renal pelvis. Renal pelvis. Okay. And renal pelvis will be connected to the ureters. Got it? Okay, so renal pelvis will be connected to the ureter. It means that renal pelvis actually will receive the product of filtration, which is the urine. So the final urine will actually go to the renal pelvis, go to the ureter, bladder, urethra, and out from the opening. Hey, do you have questions for this so far? Just for the structure like this, layers. Now, where is the filtration's place? Okay. Now, in this layer, in this kidney, we cannot really see them because they are very small. There is a unit of filtration is called nephron. Okay. So nephron is actually the functional unit of kidney. This is the one that filters the blood. Okay. It's called structure is called nephron. Okay, Dylan, what is the structure called? The structure that filters the blood is called nephrons. Get it? Nephron. We, normally will have 1 million nephrons per kidney. So how many nephrons do we have total with 2 kidneys? 2 million. 2 million. That's it. We only given 2 million nephrons in our body. If this nephrons broken, let's say 80% of the nephron broken in one kidney, for example, basically your kidney will not be able to filter the blood. Then you need what? You need kidney transplantation. There is a disease that can break this nephron. If you have this disease, anybody know what is PKD? This is actually inherited disease, and this is dominant. This is dominant inherited disease. It means that if your father have PKD, 75% most likely you will have the PKD. It's called the polycystic kidney disease. It means that in the kidney, there are a lot of cysts. So the kidney is, and this is progressive disease. It means that maybe when you're still kid, you not really realize it. You have that. When you're growing, usually 35 years old, it start give the symptom of this PKD. Your blood will be what? Will be dirty because the nephron unable to filter the blood. So PKD, this is one inherited disease, dominant, autosomal dominant disease that inherited. Now, again, the functional unit or the structure that filter the blood is called nephron. How many of them? 1 million per kidney. Now, how the nephron look like? The nephrons look like this. It has two main parts. I'm gonna put this one first. Okay. Okay. Basically, it look like a cup. It look like a cup at the head of the nephron over here. Okay. So it has two main parts. The first part over here, okay, is called the renal corpuscle. Okay. I'm gonna draw it again later, bigger, but right now, because we need the space for drawing it in the kidney, I'm gonna draw it a little bit smaller. Renal corpuscle, and there is a tube that coming from the renal corpuscle, start from here and end here. So this the tube. This one is called the renal tubule because it's a tube. Okay, renal tubule. Okay, and each kidney will dump their product into a bigger channel. It's called the collecting duct. Okay, so collecting duct. Okay, but collecting duct is not part of the nephron. This is the channel that will collect all the result of filtration from that million kidney. Million nephron. You get this one? Now, in the renal corpuscle, the blood will enter. Belum. The blood vessel that enter into the renal corpuscle is called the afferent arteriole. Remember, arteriole is the smallest artery that enter into the capillaries. Okay, and over here, inside the cup, will make what we call the structure is called the glomerulus. That's going to be part of the renal corpuscle. So renal corpuscle actually will have two parts. One part is called the glomerulus, which is basically actually capillaries, blood vessel. Okay, and then from here, from the glomerulus, I'm gonna use blue color. The blood will out, and the vessel that out is called the efferent arteriole. If the first one is start with A, afferent, the one that exit start with E, exit efferent arteriole. Okay, this one? And this again create the glomerulus inside the cup. And then if you see this cup itself, the cup is called, it's called the Bowman. Bowman capsule. Again, I'm gonna draw it again later, to make it bigger. Okay, so this is just for your information now. The renal corpuscle, which is the head part of this nephron, consists of two structures, glomerulus, which is the capillary, and the capsule or the cup is called the Bowman capsule. Okay, that's the renal corpuscle. Are you with me? Now look at the tube. The tube, actually, it has three tubes. It has three tubes. So it's going to be, there are three parts of the renal tubule. The first one is the one that here. Okay, I'm going to make it blue over here. The one that is really close to the renal corpuscle. Remember, if it is close to the attachment site, what do you call it? What is the terminology for something that close to the attachment site? Like over here, humerus and the wrist over here. Which one is proximal, which one is distal? Humerus or the wrist to the attachment site? Wrist is distal, this one is proximal. The one that close to the attachment is called proximal. Therefore, this one over here, the one that close to the renal corpuscle, is called the PCT. PCT. So PCT is mean proximal convoluted tubule. The tube that close to the renal corpuscle. Okay, we can use the abbreviation PCT. Okay, the second part, if you see this one, is the part that make down and up, going down, down, and then up. So the filtration is actually going from the renal corpuscle, go to the PCT, down, up, and then go here, and finally to the collecting duct. Now, the one that down and up is making loop. Therefore, it's called the loop. So number 2 is going to be loop. So this one, number 2 over here, loop of Henle. Okay, so loop of Henle. Okay. Dylan, what is the first one called? The one that's closer to the corpuscle? It's called PCT, what? Proximal convoluted tubule. The second one, the one that is down and up, making the loop, is called loop of Henle. Now, the last one is here, from here to here. This is farther away. This is farther away from the attachment. What do you call it, Ethan? Distal. It's going to be DCT over here. DCT. Number 3 will be DCT. Okay. DCT, distal convoluted tubule. Okay, PCT, and then DCT, the last one. So that's the three part of the renal tubule. And it will dump into the collecting duct. Now, where it is located? Now, here, look at the renal cortex over here. Renal cortex mostly have the corpuscle. So, gonna be maybe look like this. So most of the corpuscle, the renal corpuscle, mostly located in the cortex part, the renal cortex. And then the tubules will be going down to the renal medulla. And all of them will be collecting here. Okay, going here, going here, going here. This one over here is the collecting duct. This collecting duct. All the collecting duct will be located in the renal medulla. Renal medulla. And when you dissect the kidney tomorrow, you're going to see this collecting duct nicely arranging like this, create a structure that look like pyramid. Therefore, it is called a renal pyramid. Basically, it is actually collection of the collecting duct, creating this renal pyramid. Okay. And then, of course, the product will be, this is going to be urine. The result will be sent into the renal pelvis and finally go to the ureter, bladder, urethra, out from our body. Okay? You get this one first? So where did the blood enter? The blood will enter here. Blood will enter to this cup, in and out. Okay? And then the blood will still follow this tube. This is actually following the tube because the blood still have to take something from the tube also. You have questions so far? That's just location, not the process yet. That's the location of filtration, which is in the place called the nephron. And nephrons, again, located inside the kidney. The corpuscle usually on the cortex. The tube will be mostly in the renal medulla. And the final product, the urine, will be dumped into the pelvis. So pelvis will consist of urine, water over there. Again, when you dissect them, you should be able to see them. Sometimes you still see the urine in it. They're going to put the color on the kidney that you dissect. Urine will be yellow. So if you see yellow, it's actually urine that becomes solid and take that color dye on it. Okay. Now we're going to discuss the process itself. The process of production of urine. Urine production. I'm going to erase this one. We're going to make a bigger nephron. Okay, now, urine formations, which is blood filtration. There are three main processes of this urine formation. The first one, of course, the filtration itself. That filtration is called the glomerular filtration. Why it is called that? Because it is present in the glomerulus. We're gonna draw again the nephron. Glomerular filtration. That's the first process. And then the second process will be, and the name is telling you where it is present, is called the tubular reabsorption. Where it is happening is going to be in the tubule, whether PCT, loop of Henle, or DCT. That's reabsorption located. The third one is going to present in the same place. Is called the tubular secretions. So something will be secreted into the tube on the last process over here. So these are the three process of urine formation, which is blood filtration in the nephron. Now, we're gonna, again, make a bigger nephron. Let's say like that. This one over here is the collecting duct. Collecting duct. Over here, we have this part over here. Again, it's called the renal corpuscle. That consists of glomerulus. I'm going to use the red color for the glomerulus. Okay, and and the blue one is the Bowman capsule. Okay, and this one from here to here, will be the renal tubule. That consists of number 1, PCT. Number 2 is number 2, down and up. Loop of Henle. And this is number 3, DCT, distal convoluted tube. You with me first? Now, blood enter, boom. Using what we call the afferent arteriole. Over here is going to be creating the capillary and out. That capillary is the glomerulus. Okay, this is glomerulus, blue. Red. And number 2 is this one, the Bowman capsule. Are you with me first? Now, we're gonna go here first. The first process. What is the first process? Glomerular filtration. It's gonna be happening here. So the process, remember when we talk about capillary in the kidney, they have a type of fenestrated capillary. You still remember the 3 capillaries? One of them is fenestrated capillary, which is present in this kidney. It means that this Bowman capsule over here, the layer is actually have hole. Not that big, but it has hole to filter something. Okay? Get it? So, there will be pressure that coming from here. The pressure that is required at least 55 milligram per mercury. So this is the lowest pressure that make our kidney able to filter the blood. Lower than this one, it will not happening. There is no filtration. So there should be pressure that coming to this glomerulus. So when it is pressure, what happened? Then the blood will push. You get this one? You get this idea? In order to be filtered. Get it? Now, look at this hole over here. These holes will allow the fenestrate over here, allow small molecule to pass. Example, most of ions, they are, of course, the first one will be water. Water molecules are small. It will pass that hole. It means that water will present in your urine. Second, what are other molecules that small? Ions. Ions will be small. Right? So a lot of ions will be present or will be filtered, at least go to the Bowman capsule over here. Okay? So it's going to be water going here, ions, maybe sodium, potassium, chloride, bicarbonate ions, many ions will go there. Okay. This fenestrate will not allow, I'm going to use will not allow bigger molecules to pass. Example of bigger molecule, of course, cell. White blood cell, red blood cell, platelet will not pass. Therefore, red blood cell, white blood cell should not present in the urine because they will not pass unless if you have problem with this nephron. So therefore, abnormality. Cell, proteins. Proteins are mostly big. It will not pass. It will not pass this filtration. Now, so this glomerular filtration, filter the blood based on size. This is the one that you have to understand. Size. It is not whether that molecule important or not. It is not. So the nephron cannot choose whether it is important or not. It is just based on what? Size. Small molecules will be filtered. Big molecules stay in the blood. Are you with me? So size of molecule. Can you follow this one first? Because this will help you to understand the next process over here. Okay? Are you with me? That's it. So it means that there are many smaller molecules, maybe including glucose over here, or sometimes amino acid. Some of them are small, is present also in this capsule, but not in the urine. Because what? Because the next process help. Are you with me? Now, what is the next process? Tubular reabsorption. Because many of these molecules are important, like sodium, potassium, glucose, amino acids. They are important for us. We have to take it back. Therefore, this, look at this, the efferent arterioles will follow. Basically, will follow this tube. Will following the tube. So blood vessel follow the tube. Are you with me? Because what? They need to take back this important molecule. Mostly in the PCT over here. So in the PCT, let's say this is blood vessel, right? 100% of glucoses will be written back to the blood vessel. So these glucoses may be present in the PCT, glucoses, amino acid, right? sodium ion, potassium ions, right? Chloride ion, calcium ion. They're present there when we need them. We have to reabsorb them. Therefore, we reabsorb this back into the blood. Okay? So mostly this reabsorption has to be done first. It means that most likely the PCT over here is the place for reabsorption. Make sure we take the important molecule back. Okay? If you follow that in your assignment, it's asking you how many percent of glucoses, amino acid, 100% should be reabsorbed. 100%. Water about 65% reabsorbed. Okay? Chloride is about 50% reabsorbed. Okay? Bicarbonate ions about 85%. 80 to 90% reabsorbed. So it has to be back to our blood because they are important molecules. Okay? Now, again, because it is based on size, there may be, you have the urea also over here, urea, ammonia, but maybe some urea, ammonia, uric acid still present in the blood. Because sometimes this is not really perfect, the filtration, because just based on the size, some of them still present in the blood, which is we have to remove it. Therefore, the third process over here happening, which is mostly happening whether in the PCT, loop of Henle, there's going to be secretion. What does secretion mean? The bad material that's still present in our blood will be secreted into the tube. Maybe ammonia, urea, creatine, they have to be there. And then finally, they have to enter into this collecting duct. So this one have to be the final product. Ammonia, urea, uric acid, creatine has to be present in the collecting duct. Of course, water. Water is still there. Are you with me? Now, look at this blood. Blood still follow the collecting duct too. We still need the water because too much water in this collecting duct. We have to take it back. We cannot, release too much water in the urine. We will die, dehydration. Therefore, there is still reabsorption of water from the collecting duct. Reabsorption of water in collecting duct. And this is the one that is controlled by one of the important hormone that produced by the hypothalamus, and it is stored in the posterior pituitary gland. You still remember the name of the hormone? It's called the ADH. So ADH will control this reabsorption of water from the collecting duct. If you do not have enough ADH, then you will be pee more. Like people with diabetes, they usually pee more. People that drink alcohol actually mess up with the ADH, they pee more. So that's the final process of this urine production, which is the reabsorption of water from the collecting duct. And finally, final urine will enter into the renal pelvis from the collecting duct. And from renal pelvis go to ureter, bladder, urethra, and then out. Okay. Do you have questions for this one? That's how our blood is actually filtered and urine produced. Again, three main process: glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption, and tubular secretion. Now, you just learn the process. Next time, we're going to learn what hormone or what process control this control this process because it is controlled by our hormone, is controlled by our nervous system too. We're gonna learn that next on Thursday. Do you have a question? I hope it's easy to understand. That's how our urine produce. If you don't have question, again, tomorrow we're gonna have a dissection of kidney plus urinalysis. Don't pee, okay? Please don't pee before you come to the lab. You need your pee, okay? You need your pee during the lab time. See you tomorrow.